Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go over two kayaks that a lot of people comparing, and if you've been looking for a kayak just for the quick weekend fishing trip or just a good throw and go, you want stability, you want a comfortable seat, and you want some options to store your gear. These two kayaks have probably been on your radar, and the two kayaks I'm talking about are the Jackson Bite and the Perception Outlaw. Both of them are going to have some similarities, but they're also going to have some differences. And with the prices being what they are in 2024, which one's the better value for you personally and what you're looking to do? We're going to get right into that. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Both of them are going to have All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you've got two kayaks here that really kind of check a lot of the same boxes. So they're stable, they've got a great seat on them, a higher seat position, which is going to be comfortable for multiple hours out there on the water. Both of these kayaks are really kind of meant for not necessarily your serious tournament competitive traveling angler, but just somebody that may want to enjoy a weekend of fishing, or maybe a little bit more of a throw and go, throw it in the back of your truck, get down to that fishing spot and get to work. So both of these kayaks for 2024, I'll go over the specs real quick. So what you see here, this is the Jackson Kayak Bite series. It comes in at 11.5 foot long, 36 inches wide, a 400-pound weight capacity, and it comes in at 74 pounds fully rigged. That's the seat, everything on it. The Perception Outlaw is one of the most popular kayaks out there just because of the way it's made. It's been known as one of the more stable paddling kayaks out there. But for 2024, the MSRP on the Perception Outlaw is $929. It's also 11.5 foot long, it's 35 inches wide, and a 425-pound weight capacity. It comes in at 70 pounds, but I would argue it's probably a couple of pounds more than that. Nothing crazy, but they're both about that same weight. So what do you get? What do you get for your money? So the Outlaw has seen a lot more price increase than the Jackson Bite has over the last 4 years, and it's really kind of brought these two kayaks closer together in price. So if I'm having this conversation about 3 years ago, I'm probably giving you a spiel over, you probably get a better value out of the Outlaw at a $750 price point, or even $799. But for this year, really there's about $70 separating these two kayaks. And in my opinion, the Bite may give you a little bit more bang for your buck. So the biggest differences between these two kayaks is the seat is different. So Jackson has their, what they call the Comfort Series seat. It's a snag-proof seat, which you don't have to worry so much about getting your hooks caught in that. You have adjustable foot pegs, which is really, in my opinion, the biggest thing that the Outlaw is missing, a comfortable place to put your feet. You do have the little footrest on there, but if you're too tall or too short, those may not be the best thing for you. So adjustable foot pegs, and in my opinion, the biggest thing about the Bite that really separates it is the seat. The seat moving forward and backward. That ability allows you to trim your kayak, which just means if you're on water that's moving, I'm not talking about class 3 or 4s, but ones, maybe 2s, it allows you to move the seat all the way back. You can bring the nose up a little bit, and it's going to allow that kayak to really turn a lot quicker. And then if you're in calm, flat water, maybe even a slow moving river, moving it more toward, moving it more forward is going to bring that nose down. It's going to bring it into the water, and it's going to help that tracking performance, that straight line paddle performance. The Outlaw, you get a higher seating position, but the hull is designed to keep that position stable. This is also something I talk to people a lot on if they're looking at changing the seat or raising the seat up from stock that they just purchased. And I always warn you on that is you are affecting how that kayak and what that kayak was designed to do. So you may be really affecting that stability. The biggest question I get when I show people this kayak is, with the seat sitting up that high, is it going to make it feel top heavy? And it really don't. So the Outlaw has always had that tri-hull design. So that's basically going to have your pontoons running along the edges, and you got a real nice keel line that goes pretty much the length of the kayak. So it's one of the more stable kayaks out there, but that does sacrifice on your paddle performance, obviously, which you would expect by looking at the bottom of it. It's not going to turn as quick. It's not going to paddle as fast. And fast paddling just means you're less paddle strokes. So if you're paddling a kayak a mile, they average about 1,000 paddle strokes. You're easily going to do more than that in this kayak than you will most. So that sluggish paddle performance, while it may not be the end of the world, it is something to consider, and it is something to factor depending on what your use is for it. The bite has always been one of my favorites because of the stability and the maneuverability. So the bottom of the kayak is a little smoother instead of that tri-hole design underneath. That does allow you to skim across the top of the water. The draft is going to be a lot shallower. So if you're in these rivers and creeks, going over these real shallow areas or shallow shoals, you're probably going to like the bite a little bit more for that. But the adjustability on the seat and the foot pegs, you still have really good storage areas on the front and in the tank well. The bite is going to be a little bit better or easier to motorize if you're looking into that kind of thing. Neither one of these really boast a really good option for the bow mount motor, but stern mount motor, Jackson does sell an accessory plate and a transom mount that goes on that if you're interested in doing so. And namely, I'm talking about your cheaper clip-on motors, or with that accessory plate, if you're really wanting to go big, go with a Newport or something like that, you can do that, although there might be some better options in the Jackson lineup for doing that. So in my opinion, the Outlaw is a great option if that's in your budget, but you may want to kind of consider some other options, because now that this kayak has gone up in price so much, it brings it into the bite, which in my opinion, it's a little bit more of a premium kayak, and also maybe a bona fide RS 117. There's a lot of other options out there for around that same price area, and you may like those better, because again, we all want stability, but all of these kayaks are stable enough. Are you gonna dread paddling this kayak through the water? Is this going to be something you're looking forward to taking out on the water? Or is it going to be something you're dreading after a while? So that's something to really keep an eye on with your boat weight and your paddle performance. If you're looking to find reasons not to take your kayak out, you probably bought the wrong kayak. The biggest thing with the Jackson, you're getting the adjustability on the seat forward and backwards. So depending on how much weight you have in the front and back, or how you want this kayak to perform, that's a big deal. If you've got some serious low back or hip or knee pain, the Outlaw might be a little better option for you because of your hips to your knee. Again, the higher your butt is going to sit up, the more pressure that's going to take off of that tailbone and that lower back. But again, both of these are great kayaks. I just feel like the bite gives you a little bit better value in 2024 and moving forward. Again, we never know what these kayaks are going to do from year to year as far as the price goes, or the companies that make them. Maybe they'll start adding stuff to it. But I feel like the Outlaw is getting close to that area where maybe a little outdated, and especially for the price, there might be some better options for that money there. So anyways, guys, what do you think? You agree? Do you disagree? There's a lot of people that have experience with both of these kayaks. Personally, I like the paddle performance. That's always going to be something that is forefront on my mind. I obviously want stability, but I want to be able to move it around to cover a lot as much area as I can, really. Okay, so after kind of seeing some comparisons and some key points there, some things to look at, which one of these kayaks best fits your needs on what you're wanting to do? If you want to watch my video on how to pick out your first or next fishing kayak, I'll have it up here on the corner of the screen. Thank you so much for coming by and watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, we'll see you on the next video, guys.